Gaming in 2026 is kind of ridiculous. $70, $80, sometimes even more, just for one game. But what if I told you? For about $200 total, you can turn a tiny 1-liter PC into a full-blown emulation machine that plays hundreds of classic games, PS2, GameCube, even PS3, and boots straight into it like a console. No Windows, no setup every time. Just power on, grab a controller, and play. Yeah, this little box, it's basically a time machine for gaming. And today, I'm gonna show you exactly how to build one. After scrolling through eBay for a while, this tiny little machine caught my eye. This is the Lenovo ThinkStation P320 Tiny. It was only $60, but there's a catch. It's a bare bones system. No CPU, no RAM, no storage. Basically just a shell. A few days later, it finally showed up. Everything came in a box that honestly looks like a motherboard box. Inside, we've got the chassis, a power adapter, and wait, what's this? Oh, a Wi-Fi antenna. Nice little bonus. But the most interesting part, this thing is only about 1 liter in size. It's so small I can literally hold it in the palm of my hand. And overall, it looks almost brand new. No scratches, all the labels are still intact. All right, let's open it up and see what's inside. Everything in here is incredibly clean and well organized. On this side, we've got the CPU area with its cooler, and over here, hold on, no way, there's a PCIe slot in here. Okay, technically it's a X8 slot converted to X16 with an adapter, but still, a 1-liter PC that can take a dedicated GPU? That's insane. So, where are the RAM and storage? Lenovo actually hid them on the back. There's a separate compartment back here, and inside you get 2 RAM slots and even 2 NVMe slots. That's a crazy amount of hardware packed into something this small. As for connectivity, it's surprisingly loaded. On the back, you've got 3 display ports, 4 USB ports, a LAN port, and the power input. Up front, there's the power button, a 3.5mm combo jack, and 2 more USB ports. Everything is laid out super clean and efficient. They've basically used every bit of space possible. And honestly, the upgrade potential here feels very close to a full-size desktop. It's packed. It also comes with a 135-watt external power brick, which means we can actually throw in a low-profile GPU and turn this tiny little box into something way more powerful than it looks. To get this machine up and running, I needed a CPU, RAM, and storage. This system supports 6th and 7th gen Intel CPUs, DDR4 SODIMM memory, and M.2 NVMe storage. And yep, it was time to go back into the jungle. eBay. I managed to find an i7-6700 for just $33, a pair of 8GB RAM sticks for $50, and a 250GB NVMe SSD for $28. Of course, all of these are used parts. That's how you get deals like this. I always prioritize cheap components to keep the cost down, especially with how expensive everything is right now. If you're willing to spend a bit of time digging around, I guarantee you can find similar deals. Alright, let's take a quick look at the specs. We've got the i7-6700, 4 cores, 8 threads, base clock at 3.4 GHz, boosting up to 4.0 GHz. Honestly, still plenty capable for gaming even today. Next, the RAM, a Team Group kit, 2 sticks of 8GB DDR4 SODIMM at 3200 MHz. That gives us 16 GB in dual channel, which is perfect. And for storage, a 250GB NVMe SSD. Enough for a few games. You could definitely go higher capacity, but of course, that also means spending more. So that's everything, right? Well, not quite. It still feels like something's missing. Oh right, there's no way I'm gaming on integrated graphics, and this tiny PC literally has a PCIe slot. We have to use it. A few days ago, I scored another great deal, an NVIDIA Quadro K1200 for $30. It comes with 4 GB of VRAM, and more importantly, it's super power efficient, only 45 watt TDP. And look at this. It fits perfectly in here. Like it was made for this system, this is exactly the kind of GPU this build needs. Now everything is fully installed, neatly packed inside this tiny 1-liter chassis for a total cost of around $200. We've got a full desktop CPU and a dedicated GPU in here. That's honestly insane. So crazy. Alright, now for the fun part. I'm gonna turn this tiny PC into a full-on gaming console, but to keep things simple, stable, and instant on, I'm going with Ba-to-Se-Ra. If you've seen my previous videos, you probably already know what it is, so I won't go too deep into the setup this time. All you need is a bootable USB, plug it in, install Ba-to-Se-Ra, and boom! You've got a mini console with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a dedicated GPU, all packed inside this 1-liter machine. Let's take a quick look at the system. Everything is properly detected and all drivers are installed. We've got the i7-6700 March 16 gigabytes of RAM and the Quadro K1200. So far, so good. Now for the controller, I'm using an Xbox-style controller here. It works with both wired and Bluetooth, so super convenient. Alright, everything is ready. I'm honestly pretty excited right now. Let's fire up some games and see what this little machine can really do. Let's start with some Nintendo classics. Contra, Mario, Battle City, these are simple pixel-style games, so yeah, they run flawlessly. Super smooth, zero issues. Honestly, performance here is a no-brainer. Next up, let's jump into the Sega Dreamcast. We're playing Dead or Alive 2. The graphics definitely look a bit more polished here, and performance? Still rock solid. Locked at 60 frames FPS, even during fast-paced fights, everything feels responsive and accurate. Now moving on to the PlayStation 1. First, Street Fighter Alpha 3. This game has a lighter, more cartoon-style look, but pulling off combos can be tricky. Thankfully, everything feels responsive, running smoothly at 60 frames FPS. Next, Tekken 3. This one is a bit heavier, with more 3D style graphics. Characters look more realistic, animations are smoother, overall a noticeable step up. And even then, this setup handles it with ease. Still a solid, smooth 60 frames FPS. Alright, let's step things up a bit. Now we're moving on to the PlayStation 2. First up, Tekken 5. The graphics are already a big jump compared to PS1. Character movements feel smoother, more realistic, and the in-game effects look much better. I can even pull off more complex combos now. And performance? Still smooth and stable, no issues at all. Next, Mortal Kombat, Shaolin Monks. This game has much larger environments compared to Tekken. There's more interaction, more depth, and overall, it's a bit more demanding. But honestly, this tiny P320 handles it just fine. No struggles here. And finally, one of the most iconic titles on PS2, GTA Vice City. An open-world action game with that classic 80s retro vibe. You've got Tommy Vercetti rocking the Hawaiian shirt, you already know. And surprisingly, this setup still has no problem running it. The i7-6700 and Quadro K1200 handle everything smoothly. No stutters, no lag, just a clean, solid experience. Now, I decided to push this tiny machine even further. Can it actually run GTA 5 through a PS3 emulator? To be honest, I wasn't expecting much. This isn't exactly a high-end system, but I was genuinely surprised. It actually runs. We're getting around 30 frames FPS on average, and honestly, just being able to run GTA 5 on a PS3 emulator at all, that's already impressive. When driving, the FPS drops to a little over 20. There are some noticeable dips here and there, with slight stuttering. After about 15 minutes of gameplay though, the fan noise ramps up like crazy. It literally sounds like a hairdryer, which makes sense. This case is extremely compact. Everything is packed tightly inside with very limited airflow, and because of the heat, performance starts to drop even more. At that point, FPS goes down to around 20. Honestly, this setup was never meant for heavy games like GTA 5, but turning it into a compact gaming console, That's where it really shines. It's small, clean, but still fully loaded. In a previous video, I built a Barakira USB packed with games. It was super useful, but the downside is you still need a PC to run it. This time though, I built a complete standalone gaming console. Ultra compact, surprisingly powerful, and still upgradable. You turn it on, and you're gaming. No windows, no complicated setup, no messing around. It's not perfect, but it's fun. Like, really fun. For around $200, you get a machine that can replay almost your entire childhood. And honestly, even more than that. And to me, that's what makes this thing truly worth it. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit the like button so I know you want to see more. And make sure to subscribe, because I've got a lot more crazy ideas coming. Trust me, we're just getting started. I'll see you in the next video.